to fight. Let's make a list, and then eventually you guys can fight.
I'm not here for anybody's entertainment. I'm here for the money and the gold.
Let's do it.
All right, the MMA podcast now. We've got a bit of a double header. The tough finale as well as UFC 189. Even though it started off the 189, we're going to start with tough just because that's the undercard, and if we started off with UFC 189, you'd all tune out.
Plus, the tough, obviously the cards aren't as strong as an event like Conor versus Mendes, so it'll be just a quick wrap up of that one. It was on the Sunday night or Monday morning here, so
yeah. Well, we'll do our intros. My name's Josh.
I'm Brenton,
and Heath will be joining us a little bit later for the main card. He doesn't do the small time shit.
Yeah, he's expensive.
Yeah,
costs a lot of money per hour.
Yeah.
The only one of real interest was Josh Salmon, who's a tough alumni as well, taking on Karl Magalhães.
Well, yeah, anyone who's been around BJJ knows the Magalhães name.
Yeah. And you can usually tell if they don't by how they pronounce it.
Yeah. Or just give up.
Yeah.
Magalhães.
So, yeah, Josh Salmon got rear naked choke on Karl Magalhães.
On to the main card. Massimo Blanco. From what I recall from learning tiny bits of Latin from a Catholic primary school, that means great white. So why his nickname is Maxi, I have no idea. It should be Shark, surely.
Oh, really?
If your name is Maximo Blanco, great white, then how's your nickname not Shark? He actually got away with a win, which is pretty good.
Next up, we had Michelle Waterson, the Karate Hottie, making her UFC debut after dropping the Invicta title to Herika Tiburcio.
Yeah.
Anyway, she fought Angela Magana in this fight. Angela being a tough alumni as well from the all-female Ultimate Fighter series.
Magana, her nickname is Your Majesty.
Yeah.
There's not much majestic about her.
Yeah, and I mean, she looks a bit inbred, which is consistent with most monarchies. So, Magana was, she needed a win this one. Her record in recent times isn't very good. That's fourth loss in a row.
Second for UFC in a row.
Second in the UFC, and that's coming out of Ultimate Fighter, where I think she lost twice. Oh, no, once she lost in there, yeah. So, you'd have to think she might be done.
And look, if they had a tag team option, her and Beck Rawlings, best mates, they'd get right there.
Yeah.
Because we were saying we were watching it. She's got perfect skin, perfect teeth, and so cutesy.
Yeah.
That she seems like the sort of girl that more at home at Comic-Con than at UFC. But, she brings the smash.
Bloody yeah, you can just look at the size of her thighs, like they do damage.
Yeah.
And you've seen that photo she put up online, it was a while ago now, of her standing on one foot, holding her toes on the other leg, which is above her head, taking a selfie.
Yeah.
So quite talented in, I think she's karate, but I think she's done a bit of judo and that sort of stuff as well. Good on the ground as well.
And that's one thing I noticed in the Invicta fights that she had. Her hip flexibility is spectacular. And I mean that in terms of jiu-jitsu and in general. Because she's able to, from guard, just go to a triangle or an armbar so quickly. Because she can fold herself in fucking half.
She got, you wouldn't say deep waters, but she definitely had some situations where she had a lot to think about.
Well, I think it was in the first couple of minutes, Magana had her in an armbar, and it looked pretty deep.
Yeah.
I think she was able to just get a little bit of the elbow into the gooch and protect a little bit and twist it a little.
Yeah.
So it wasn't quite pure, but Magana could have finished that.
Yep. Yeah, and it came after a pretty nice takedown from the Karate Hottie as well. She had a nice little hip toss there, I think it was.
Her takedowns were spectacular.
Yeah.
She did the head arm trap hip toss
a couple of times,
and it was committed.
And I was glad to see she wasn't trying to lock in a bulldog choke either. I was like sick of trying to pull that shit. And the second one, she did well to maintain her balance and keep her hips low on the ground so that she didn't get rolled afterwards. And I thought she was really patient in defending the armbar as well, and really thought about what she was doing. Put the leg over the head, and tried to consolidate that position while making sure the elbow wasn't locked too far deep.
Yeah, both of the girls defended the armbars really well, especially, I think Waterson had Magana in a belly down armbar a couple of times.
Yeah.
And way to get out of that is obviously to throw the leg over the other person so you can bring
Not in the Brock Lesnar way.
No. But so you can bring your shoulder back a bit. And she was able to do that. She was able to just get that elbow out of there. And
yeah. And it was just patience. It's a game of centimetres. Just slowly, make sure you get in a position and then you can explode. And I think she did. She ended up turning it over into mount, I believe.
Yeah. She moves so well, Michelle Waterson. Her ability to transition, which is the hardest.
Yeah.
No matter what martial art you do, if it involves grappling, the transitions are where it's won or lost.
And I think that's because it's not something you can sort of consciously think about, because if you consciously think about it, you're already a step behind.
Absolutely.
It has to be just trained and be flowing with the going.
Yeah, like I can show anyone how to do a Kimura.
Yeah.
But to get to the Kimura from position X, that's the trick. And it's the timing, it's the feel and the reaction.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, as soon as you think about it, it's done.
Yeah. And you were saying, like, before the fight started, that you got to watch out for Waterson's guard as well. She's got a very strong guard, very active guard, and she showed that as well. It looked like that Magana did sort of the same kind of things when she was in guard. When she had Waterson in guard, but Waterson was much more polished. Just finishing little techniques, like knees squeezed together a lot tighter when she was trying to stick in the armbar. Just little things like that, just to make it more solid.
And also, I thought there were a few interesting choices that Magana made. Like, she went to lockdown a couple of times.
Yeah.
And lockdown is fine. You know, if you don't know what lockdown is...
It's Eddie Bravo.
Yeah. But lockdown is pretty much when, in a mounted half guard kind of thing, and she's locked up one of Michelle's legs.
Yeah.
It does isolate that person. They can't go into mount.
Yeah.
And they can't attack your head and neck. But you can't do shit.
Yeah.
You're stuck there. You're hoping they gas out, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it looked like she had her chances in the first round, but it diminished a lot from there. In round 2, I think Karate Hottie was on top for most, and in round 3, Karate Hottie came out looking like she was just starting round 1, and Magana looked like she was spent. And I think like maybe difference in sort of not weight cuts, but hey, you have to get to that 115 weight division. Like Karate Hottie just was the 105. I think it's atom weight, isn't it? 105 pound division champion for Invicta. Just lost it before she came to UFC. So she's moving to upper weight category, and Magana is still cutting weight. So maybe that was a bit of an effect on there. I don't think it would have made a difference in the result.
I think the difference for that seemed to be speed.
Yeah.
Because Magana looks slow.
Yeah.
And Waterson, her ability to kick, punch, and transition, get takedowns, like she beat her at every step of the way.
And even one part where might have been Magana trying to throw a kick, and Waterson caught it and then tripped it to the ground and just stood there. And she reminded me of, you know, when you see joggers, traffic light, and they're stationary, waiting, they're jogging on the spot. So she just started doing that, waiting for Magana to get up. And Magana was slow getting up. She ended up giving up the rear naked choke in the third, and that was it.
It did seem that the choke wasn't quite in.
Nah, it wasn't trying to be defended either.
Magana wasn't defending. She knew she was done, and that
was her out.
It was out, and she just wanted to go out on a shield kind of thing.
Yeah, and that was it. I think that's the best fight I saw Magana have, and I don't think she's really had many good fights.
Yeah, the next one was Masvidal versus Fajeha.
And the thing is, Masvidal's been around for ages. I think it's his first foray down at 155, or in this recent stint in his career.
Well, he's got 38 fights to his name, and for a bloke 30 years of age, that's pretty good. He's been fighting since he was 18.
Yeah, bloody oath. His first fight was in 2003, so shows how long he's been around for.
But he did himself no harm at all by coming out and having a pretty nice KO.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he did himself no harm at all. I think we'll see a bit more of him.
All right, we'll move on to our next fight.
Yeah, main event for the tough finale.
And to be eligible for the finale, you had to have fought twice during the season, and it was the coach's decision on who they put against each other. And the winner had a chance to win, I think it was $200,000. They decided on, from Black Zillions, you had Kamaru Usman versus Haida Hassan with ATT.
And I'm gonna attack the nicknames again. Kamara, the Nigerian Nightmare Usman. Yes, he is Nigerian. But to me, if you said, oh man, I've had a Nigerian nightmare, it means you've responded to some prince's emails about getting money out of the country and you've lost all your cash.
Yeah, you've lost. Some pensioners given $60,000 to someone over in,
Usman pretty much dominated the fight, I reckon.
I think
he just seemed to be too quick. And a head-arm finish is kind of embarrassing for this level. I mean, it's absolutely doable.
Yeah.
But it's one of those ones where if your fitness is good, which Hassan's is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it was fun,
pushing that arm back should be instinctive.
Yeah.
Before they've even locked it up and got their head in your armpit,
yep,
you should be able to push that arm back and defend it. But you know, he was fighting off a very aggressive Usman on the ground and on the feet. So I can see how he'd get so tired that he just has that fraction of a second delay that lets Usman
Yeah.
lock it up. I imagine Ireland is going to have a tough very soon.
Well, funny you mentioned that. They've actually announced the fighters for the next tough season. It'll be Conor McGregor versus Uriah Faber.
Yeah, I did see the coaches we mentioned.
Yeah.
So, honestly, I think that's probably smarter than having Ireland versus England, because that house could get blown up. And I don't mean that figuratively. I mean, people will actually smuggle weapons in and there will be explosions.
But the only thing is, does that mean that Conor's going to fight Uriah for
Usually that's what it means.
championship? Yeah, well, the last one in Brazil, they didn't do that. I think that was the first time. But the thing is, you got Aldo next in line for the championship bout. So if Conor loses, will that be sort of a number one contender spot? Or
Well,
do
it's
you
the
reckon-
interim belt. It's not the champion. Aldo's still the champion.
Yeah, but they're having a unification one, they reckon, about November. They've slated it for. And you'd have to think that the Ultimate Fighter won't be done and dusted before then. But I've seen Uriah in too many championship bouts in like the last couple of years. Hasn't won any of them, so
Yeah.
I think he's maybe give it to Frank Edgar.
No, I actually like
probably on-
McGregor and Faber, just because McGregor has stormed his way forward, but he hasn't had that longevity.
Yeah,
and I think a fight with Faber would legitimise his position a bit more.
Yeah, true, but I think Frank Edgar deserves it more, and I think he'd probably get the same sort of legitimacy out of fighting Frankie than he would Uriah. But I'm excited for either fight. So I just feel a bit sorry for Frankie. I think he's been sitting on the outer for a bit too long, and he hasn't done anything wrong.
Moving on to the main event of the tough finale, we had Stephen Wonderboy Thompson versus Jake the Juggernaut Ellenberger.
I think Ellenberger just sat at the perfect distance for Thompson to lay those kicks, and he sort of played into Thompson's hands for what his strategy would be.
Thompson's quite lanky, so his effective kick range is a bit more than maybe Ellenberger thought.
Yeah.
And he just never looked worried. He was able to kick at will. His spinning kick that landed just before the finish
Both
was
of them.
spectacular.
Yeah.
And it seemed like I was yelling at the telly because it seemed like he let him recover.
Yeah.
But in hindsight, it seems more like Thompson wanted the bonus finish.
They still get 50k for this one? I'm not sure. Probably. So we're on to UFC 189. Yeah, which is may as well be UFC Connor. That's what it was. We start off with the undercard. Undercard was very disappointing. When you're looking at a card that's been talked up and promoted a lot of times the main card doesn't live up to it and the undercard performs. This one was the opposite.
Yeah, first five were decision fights. Cody Pfister versus Yosdenis Sedino.
Yeah, that was shit. Decision. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it was a grind through, and look, honestly, I don't think either of them did themselves any favours.
No one cares about that. Went on to Lewis Smoker versus Neil Seary. Neil Seary obviously being the Irishman. This fight was actually pretty good. Decision again, but lots of good transitions, lots of good trading. Seary had some decent hands. Little Irishman, obviously loves his boxing. Shows solid hands, some solid groundwork too. The transitions on the ground here on this match were really, really good, especially for MMA. Usually the young people usually have good transitions because they're little ninjas. Oh, not young people, the lower weight categories. But this one, you would have thought on paper that Smoker was going to dance it in, but Seary, to his credit, he went in there and just went hard. And I thought he probably had the most chance of winning it during the fight, but ended up losing the decision to Louis Smoker.
I don't think either of them are done. I think we'll see a bit more of both. That puts Seary at 2-2 in the UFC, which isn't bad enough. He's coming off 2 wins and a loss.
And look, we can guarantee there's going to be a big fight card in Dublin next year.
Yeah, so I think he can look forward for another couple of fights.
Yeah, and I mean, before this one, his only last loss was to Brad Pickett, which is pretty amazing. I think that was after he retired and went to Western Bulldogs.
Yeah, and then we go on to John Howard and Cathal Pedred.
It was Cody Garbrandt versus Enrique Briones first. That was non-event, yeah. Most exciting thing about this was that we found out that Cody Garbrandt is dating Paige Van Zandt.
Yeah, fair play to him.
Sorry, not really exciting, but that was the biggest thing to come out of this match.
We're doing, to be honest, they might have been overtaken by the spectacle.
Yeah.
But, Anyway, moving on to John Howard and Cathal Pedred.
The last fight that he had wasn't long ago. I think it might have been the last UFC pay-per-view. And he put on a shithouse, more or less, him and, I can't remember who was fighting, Augusto Montano at UFC 188, so it was the last one. And they pretty much looked like a bit of Irish dancing going on in the cage. I don't know how you even picked a winner of that fight, but it was shit house, and everyone said it was shit house. And Dana made a point of being shit house, and then Katal Pendred has got the call up for this fight, stepping in for an injury. I can't remember who the original fight was scheduled against, and so he had a point to prove in this one, to come out and show that he can be active, he can put on exciting fights, has a future in UFC, and he pretty much came out there and looked like a boring version of Keith Jardine.
Obviously, this one he lost by a split decision. But a decision, going to decision, is almost as bad as a loss.
And also, it depends how you go to that decision as well. And with the last one against Montano, it was I couldn't overestimate how shit that fight was. It wasn't. You couldn't even call it a fight, actually. They might have smelled each other's gloves a couple of times, and that's about it.
Yeah, we see it happen with counter punches so much. They try and sucker each other in, but when they're just dancing around each other, it's not good. Also, fighters who are trying not to get knocked out. They're trying not to lose rather than get a highlight reel win.
Yeah.
And like we said so much, you can go hell for leather, get knocked out, and still be a guy that they want to keep around.
Yep.
But if you're grinding out the wins and then all of a sudden you lose 2 in a row...
Yeah, exactly.
Forget about it, you're done.
Look what happened to John Fitch. You know, I mean, he had a huge following, probably getting paid a bit too much for what he was doing in the cage, and gave him the ass. And turned out it was the right decision as well. Yeah,
moving on to Garcia and Swick. Alex, the Dominican Nightmare. So we've had the Nigerian Nightmare earlier at the Tough, and now the Dominican Nightmare.
Yeah. I don't know about you, but my nightmares are non-racial.
Yeah, I have race-free nightmares.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, there is one where I'm actually being attacked by Native Americans, but I think that was because I watched Dances with Wolves as a child. It wasn't a fantastic fight. Both of them seemed to be kind of...
Yeah, this fight sucked balls, let's be honest.
Yeah,
if you sat through the whole lot, more power to you, because this was shit.
I mean, he's in top shape and everything, but he's not a contender.
Yeah, so is Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
And he ain't beaten up no cunt. Actually, except for ISIS in the next Rocky movie, I think. That's what they're taking on. No, not the next Rocky, next Command. What's he done? Rambo. That's one, yeah. Moving on to the main fight in the undercard. It was Matt the Immortal Brown versus Tim the Dirty Bird Means. If you listen to the Joe Rogan podcast, this whole card, he said, this is the fight he's looking forward to most. Like, forget McGregor Mendez, forget Rory McDonald and... I can't have a mental blank. What's his name? Robbie Lawler. He said Tim Means versus Matt Brown is the one that he's looking forward to, and I thought it lived up to it. I thought it was a very good fight.
I thought it was very good. Both were very active. The way Means moves, it's really, really good. His ability to just shift so rapidly and to turn the corner.
Yeah,
because you see so often fighters tend to line up and then circle to their left or to their backside.
Yeah.
He didn't. He was able to sort of duck weave, attack at the 45-degree angle movements, and really keep Matt Brown guessing. And I think he had Matt Brown in trouble a couple of times. I think Matt Brown did more damage initially.
Yeah.
But there were a few times Means could have looked for a decent sub.
Well, Means is a southpaw, and he landed that straight left like repeatedly. I know at one point he landed 3 in a row, just bang, bang, bang. And then it was a straight left that actually cut Brown open and got the claret starting to go. And one of the first times I've seen Matt Brown at a height disadvantage in the welterweight division. Brown's 6 foot and looks like a tall welterweight. Yeah. And Tim Means comes in at 6'2". And I wouldn't be surprised if maybe he might be doing himself a disservice by trying to cut that much weight at 6'2".
Well, he looked fast.
But
so...
it looked like he couldn't handle the... Looked like he gave the best punches, but he couldn't take them. And a lot of that is to do with water around the brain and trying to cut water weight for weigh-ins. And no IVs anymore after this card. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see him moving up to the middleweight category.
Yeah, and the reason the no IVs things is something worth mentioning. When you're cutting weight, obviously it's water weight you're cutting most of. And to rehydrate, a lot of fighters have been putting in saline drips.
Yeah.
So you just stick it in the arm and off you go, like Brisbane Lions were doing a few years back.
Yeah.
But it's a great way to rehydrate rapidly. But it's really not a great look. And I think besides that, you're never quite 100% certain what's in the bags.
Yeah.
So
well, the problem was that they were blood doping through the IV post-fight. And apparently the way they detect the drugs in the system, it's on such a microscopic scale that it's actually the same level you'll detect pieces of plastic from the bag that the IV drip is held in, like the saline solution is held in. And apparently that plastic actually acts as a masking agent for some performance-enhancing drugs, especially like, I don't know what the blood doping is, EPO or whatever the fuck they do.
That's
is that white blood cells?
Doping is when they take blood out, red blood cells usually,
right,
and separate them via centrifuge, and
right,
then put them back in, because red blood cells are what carry your oxygen.
Yeah.
And by overloading it, you can get a lot more energy in your muscles initially, and you can also take away fatigue toxins rapidly.
Okay.
But obviously your body ends up going, there's too fucking many, and they just let them die.
Yeah.
But it's an advantage for that period of time. And it's been used by Olympic athletes, especially sprinters, for quite some time. And removing pretty much all options of injecting is a very good idea, especially into a main blood vessel.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. That's the reason why they brought about that change, and it's already sort of been anticipated that you'll see a lot of sort of movements up in weight categories.
Which I'm fine with. I don't think the ability to cut weight should be as much of a factor as it is now.
Yeah, neither do I.
Honestly, I'll be fine with fighters weighing in on the day.
Yeah. I mean, to be completely honest, from my perspective, if you have sort of responsible matchmakers, I'm of the opinion that you should remove all the weight categories or condense them. I think there's definitely like a tipping point where you can't have Cain Velasquez fighting, Demetrius Johnson. But I think from maybe welterweight down to welterweight up.
I'd actually love to see the guys who have come off losses and are looking at losing their contract. Yeah, put them all in an 8-man elimination tournament. Winner keeps the contract. Everyone else, see you later.
Well, the thing is, BJ Penn fought Lyoto Machida at heavyweight in Pride.
Yeah, BJ Penn's a phenomenon.
Yeah, he's a bit of a freak, isn't he?
But yeah, I'm in the same agreement. You should see a little bit more movement. But back onto the weight cutting, I don't understand why they do it when they do it. Like, it's generally a week before, yeah?
They'll usually start out, I think...
a few days to a week.
Yeah, a bit over a week, I think. I know it's actually been put down to an exact science on how long it takes your body to... not your body, but your actual blood cells to reabsorb that water. And they reckon that it's over a week, like only just. I think it was like 8 days, 9 days or something.
But why? Why not weigh in on the day? I guess the reason they don't weigh in, come to think of it, is probably because if someone's overweight, then they don't have time to cut.
Oh, they don't weigh in on the day because people will still cut weight and people get knocked out and get brain damage. I think they tried it in boxing or other fighting category.
But that's because you're an idiot, because you're fighting too low.
But their job is to get punched in the face. They're not known for IQ.
Yeah, but no, I honestly think they should weigh in on the day. Just because if you have to cut that much weight to be sort of a danger, you're fighting the wrong weight category.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you cut that weight on the day, and the thing is, like, putting it on the day is going to stop people cutting weight. It's just going to make it more dangerous when they get into the octagon.
And they'll probably lose, and they won't be doing it anymore.
But like, serious injuries and potentially death in octagon is not good for the UFC. So I'd be very, very surprised if they went to weight cut on the day. I think they're going to look at trying to eliminate your methods of being able to cut weight to that category, which is they've done with IV rehydration. It's still not perfect, because IV is actually a really good way to rehydrate afterwards, and probably the most safest way to rehydrate afterwards. So, yeah, it's not perfect yet, not even close to perfect, but they're trying to do something about it.
Yeah, the difference between this and boxing, though, is this has submissions as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Boxing doesn't. If some guy, if you had the weigh-ins on the day and some guy comes in dehydrated, he's going to be slow as fuck. Yeah. And he's probably going to lose.
But the thing is, they will do it. That's the problem. And the thing is, you can't just put that rule in and then say, well, you fucked up, you're dead, bad luck, that's your fault. Because the rest of the public who you're trying to win over to that sort of, this style of fighting, aren't going to buy that line.
I don't think you'd see people die. Like, boxing's a very different sport in that attacking the head is so common, and also body blows. Yeah. But you see MMA, in terms of clean strikes to the head, far fewer in MMA than there is in boxing.
Yeah, but they're also petitioning the Nevada State Athletic Commission to bring in knees to the head of a down opponent. They're trying to change the rule where it doesn't matter if you got 3 points on the ground, whatever, nothing, knees to the head, legal anywhere. So if you're going to bring that in, like, I can't agree that a boxing punch would be more damaging than a knee to the head. And so, yeah, you can't really bring that in and then say you can't, or you got to weigh in on the day and people are going to cut weight. And
yeah, I don't think it's about the single blow.
It's Pandora's box.
Yeah, I don't think it's a single blow. I think when you look at a boxing match, the blows to the head, there's dozens. Yeah. MMA fights, generally, if you get 3 clean hits to the head in a row, they're going down and you're about to finish.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't think they're as directly comparable as some people seem to believe.
Yeah, true. But I mean, it's a tough one because boxing, they still don't weigh in on the day either. And they do take more damage to the head, but the potential for, I think, sort of long damage, long-term damage, you get a lot. And it's not so much in the fights, but in the gym, where knees and especially getting strangled and elbow to the head are quite common.
Yeah, but what happens in the gym? Well, injuries do happen, but it's pretty uncommon that they'll be big injuries. Normally, they're just those little things that happen from going a bit too hard. Unlike, I want to say Jessica Pena when she nuked her knee. The girl that won the female tough.
Sparza?
No.
Yeah, she won it.
The other one.
There's only one that won the belt. Oh, the one before that with the split season?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
I'm pretty sure her name was Pena.
I know there was Jessica Pena who...
No, not Pena. Pena.
Oh, Juliana
Pena, that was it.
Yeah. The Venezuelan vixen.
Yeah. And she had her knee nuked in training with a bloke who might have gone a bit too hard.
Yeah.
But again, that sort of thing is going to happen. And, you're still training when you're weight cutting, and you're going to be vulnerable regardless.
Yep.
So, look, my solution, weigh in on the day.
Yeah.
And if you come in overweight, you get no prize money.
Well, so that's the end of the undercard for UFC 189, and it's a shit undercard, so that's what we only talked about. Pretty much Tim Means, Matt Brown, and old mate Neil Seary on the undercard. We'll go on to what was a cracking main card of UFC 189.
Okay, we're on the main card now, and Heath's joined us.
How we doing?
Yeah, he wasn't interested in the dead rubbers.
No, I'm only if I'm not paying for it, then I'm not interested.
He's a true Vegas fan. That's when you step in the building.
Or a prostitute fan, one or the other.
Yeah, well, they go hand in hand, don't they? They're not mutually exclusive.
Explain the fucking punchline if you like, but anyway. So the big first fight in the main card, we got Brad one punch Pickett versus Thomas one knee Almeida.
It was funny. I saw before this fight, it was on Twitter. I can't remember which publication it was, but they put out a photo of Almeida with a belt over his shoulder, and apparently Dana wanted that picture and told him to put the belt on because he'd be champion one day. I was thinking, is that like just your standard when you walk into the UFC doors signing a contract, you get the belt put on in the same one line you get?
Well, maybe they give him the belt and say, you'll be a champion one day, and then, and here's our offer. It's sweet fuck all.
And then he gives the, do you want to be a fucking fighter speech or something, I guess.
It was unfortunate. The belt was made by Reebok.
Yeah.
Speaking of...
So I spelt UFC wrong.
The fucking compulsory shorts. Like, honestly.
They reminded me of like a real bad pair of like the first board shorts that kind of came
I was
out.
thinking exactly the same, big W boardies kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, okay, they've gone the classic black and white. They're not offensive. They're extremely boring, which I'm sure is exactly what they wanted to go for. Extremely boring, guys. That's what we're about. But what I don't get is they want to make it easier to tell the two fighters apart. Okay, fine. One, like Josh pointed out, they got the on-screen graphics wrong.
Yep.
Yeah.
They had Pickett in the white trunks, and he was shown as in the black trunks.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
I didn't even notice that little insert into that heads-up display until you guys pointed it out.
Yeah. Secondly, if the two colours are black and white, why have such a large white panel on the black pants?
Yeah, exactly.
And thirdly, so I've got another one. They got the red corner and the blue corner.
Yeah.
Why not put them in red and blue trunks?
Well, they do have the red and blue wrist straps, so you can see who's in what corner from there.
So why not make it the shorts too?
Yeah, I'd be fine with that. But I don't think black and white helps anyone. Like, it's boring as fuck. At least let them have a detail colour. Like, some fighters identify with certain colours. Like, at the moment, they're based on nationality. So the Irish have a green thing, and pretty much every country... It's the Irish and the Brazilians who have green and yellow. And then you've got every other country with red, white and blue, pretty much.
I think the Irish have orange.
I don't think they.
I think they just ask Connie what he wants. And he tells them.
I think orange is the Protestant Irish, and
So
the Catholics would be pretty rank with that.
all the the Reebok deal and the sponsorships and all that aside, because there's some that hate it, and there's some that work for the company,
And there's everyone that has no choice in the matter.
I just thought it was very puzzling.
Look, love it or hate it, good for the sport or bad, it still looks shit.
Yep. But anyway, on to the fight. Brad Pickett's coming off a few losses up against Thomas Almeida, who's still undefeated.
Yep, 19-0. Which that has to be one of the best records going around.
Wouldn't be too many.
I think these days with people who are what is he 23 or something like that. I think sort of your level of professional athletes in MMA have become sort of more and more. So there's much more sort of organisations that are doing legitimate professional fights, and so you find younger kids have better records, like straight out of the box coming to the UFC.
In fairness, a lot of them have been tomato cans.
Yeah,
but he's still 3-0 in the UFC, which is nothing to be ashamed of.
I still haven't seen a 397-0 yet. So.
Yeah. Was it 397 he claimed? Or
I think it was 397 because you want to have like a bit of a celebration when you go over the 400.
That's it. Yeah. Well, like you say though, 3-0 in the UFC, and I think it is worthwhile sometimes when they mention their records and then their UFC record.
Yeah.
Rather than fighting on Indian reservations against tomato cans, like you said.
But anyway, in the fight, you've got to say Pickett was right in there in the first probably 4 minutes.
2.5 minutes, I thought the fight was over. There was the one heel hook attempt from Almeida, and that was about it. And it wasn't that great of an attempt.
It was I'm drowning, I'm going to grab something and do something.
But Pickett was moving. His boxing looked first rate.
It looked like this fight wouldn't have been out of place down a back alley in Boston somewhere.
No, it did look very good, dirty boxing. And they talked at, I think Rogan mentioned, his ability to change levels. It was fantastic.
I don't even think it was dirty boxing. I think it was straight up. Yeah,
well, there were a few elbows.
Yeah. It was. You're right. Technically it was. But I'm saying that the pure boxing of it, the ducking down low and then waiting and then whack to the body, whack to the head.
And it's one thing that MMA has been criticised for is their punching ability, the punches in bunches. You see a lot of fighters, they'll throw a 1, a 1-2. They don't have the 4, 5, 6 punch combinations. But here we saw 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, and very quick.
Crisp and in and out. And,
the ability to pick that uppercut in between the opponent's guard was both fighters did it. Pickett especially had a really nice one where he just sort of ducks under, gets that uppercut on the 45-degree angle that starts with his toes.
Yeah,
and just really rocks into it.
Yeah, I think with the people that in the weight category, especially with a bit of a height difference there, because their arms are only like a foot long, it just looks like dirty boxing, but really it's just tiny.
It's just short arms, T-Rex arms.
Just swimming.
Something else I thought was funny in the first round, first fight of the pay-per-view, you've got an Englishman fighting a Brazilian in the US, and the crowd starts chanting in Spanish.
Yeah.
Lovely, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean,
well, I always find it funny that you'll notice that the Irish are still cheering for an English person, and only because it's in the US. Because back home, they'd be like, fuck that guy.
It's a bit like that too. Yeah. Like us with the Kiwis. We cheer for a Kiwi. Unless it's back here, then go fuck yourself, bro.
New Zealand and England playing just before the Ashes started, and I was definitely in New Zealand.
New Zealand, 100%.
But
halfway through that round, about 2 minutes 40 when they got back up, and Almeida started bleeding. I thought he looks a little bit tired, and Pickett looks like, yep, I got him. I got his measure.
He got buckled a little bit too, didn't he?
Who's that? Pickett?
Almeida. Yeah. Several times he got rocked.
And then he got one really good punch in that put Pickett on his ass, and Pickett turned it into a beautiful little round the corner takedown.
Yeah, but even when he landed that flying knee and just pretty much put his eyes shut.
Yep.
Pickett got up like he's just his alarm gone off and was going in the shower, late for work.
What's going on? What day is it?
Yeah, I just gets up. Shit to do today.
That flying knee, it was even in slow motion. It looked terribly magical. He put his left on the back of his head, bent it down gently, and then just drove the kneecap right into the back of his skull.
It looked scripted. Like you could hear the piano music in the background as he was falling down.
Yeah, I'm sure if you could find an actor willing to take that knee, he'd have a stunt job in Hollywood for about a week until he died.
It looked like almost the alert Machida against Randy Couture, where he did the fake and then the karate
kick.
But instead of having the kick, he just landed the knee flush.
Yeah.
And to grab on the back of the head just to make sure you're not going to eat solids for a couple of weeks.
And just the perfect pause in crowd noise to hear that.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a sledgehammer into a side of beef.
And he knew it too.
Yeah.
No need to follow up.
Yeah.
Just walk off.
Yeah, a walk off KO. Yeah.
It's another setback for Brad. Now, I think that's his third UFC loss in a row. Let's just bring up his record. 3 in a row. But I don't think he disgraced himself by any stretch of
No,
the imagination.
not at all. And like we've been saying all podcast, you can have an entertaining loss is better for your UFC future than grinding out tomato can wins, especially in split unanimous decisions.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can grind out a win against a legend, that's different.
They call that the white man can't jump theory, don't they? Rather look good and lose.
Yeah, yep. Now I'm with you. But where does that leave Almeida? He's got to be. That's 3 wins on the trot in the UFC now. He's got to be starting to think about moving up the rankings and starting to have a look.
Is this his first main card fight? Yeah,
I think so.
yeah. So he's obviously starting to move up the rankings and move up the pay scale. So it wouldn't be so bad for him to have another couple of like main card matches.
You want to be starting looking at ranked matches though.
Yeah.
Well, what's that? Is that his 4th fight?
3rd.
So the 4th one is the bubble for the next pay bracket, yeah, from Reebok.
Oh, I got no clue.
So these I saw
believe so.
the pay structure. And I think they're $2,500 for this fight. So Brad Pickett's got $2,500 for slapping the chops.
I think he would. Do they still do fight of the night bonuses?
Oh, they just
Yeah.
do random bonuses now. You get
Performance of the night,
Performance
isn't it? Yeah.
bonuses, whatever.
yeah, but he can give out as many or as few as he wants. And honestly, that knee deserves a bonus.
I'm sure everyone got paid in this main card.
I'm
Let's be
sure
honest.
they did. Yeah. So there was a great knockout and a great highlight for Thomas Almeida there. And like I said, I don't think Brad Pickett did his chances too much harm either.
We'll see him in Dublin, I'm sure.
Yeah, but one thing that's going to hold Almeida back, Tom Heener as a nickname.
Like I said,
Here we go.
Look, I'm willing to just put it out there. If anyone needs a nickname made up, we're willing to help out. But Tom Heener just doesn't do it.
one win, one knee. We called it in the
One knee,
intro.
Yep.
If you're fighting one
Thomas,
punch,
one knee Almeida. That's your name now, mate.
if you're fighting one punch and you're beating with one knee, that's just how it works, isn't it?
Yeah, or you can ask Wanderlei Silva for a nickname, and if you can understand what he says, let us know.
I think your name's now Fuck Dana.
All right, next fight. We've got Gunnar Nelson versus Thatch. This fight, you'd have to say, was pretty entertaining.
Well, it was especially I was expecting sort of Thatch to come out and be the aggressor. I think his last loss was against Benson Henderson, his last one. Yeah, and there was Henderson stepping up a weight category as well, and Thatcher's already big for that weight category. I think Gunnar Nelson might have had a little bit of time off, I think, as well. He might have had a little bit of space in between fights.
Well, it was his first loss against Rick Story. He lost that in a split.
Nearly 12 months in between fights.
Yeah. But, geez, you'd have to say he doesn't seem to be losing anything.
It's all over him like a rapey frog.
Well, he comes as one of the biggest grappling reputations in mixed martial arts, across the board. He's an absolute Icelandic legend when it comes to it. But even after talking about how good, I was going to say Brad Pickett's boxing was. Byron Pickett's boxing's not bad either, by all accounts. Yeah. In the previous fight, that 1-2 that connected, that ended this fight, really.
Yeah. And you heard it was just smack, smack.
It's so crisp, so quick.
And just straight. And I think on the broadcast a lot of times, might have been Joe or maybe Goldie following Joe's lead, but talking about how there's not many people that have that crisp jab anymore. GSP was left, and they talked to Rory up about it as well. But I think Gunnar Nelson is one that just throws it straight and effective. Doesn't need to have the most power in it, but it's accurate.
When it hits on the button like that.
Oh, shit, yeah. Especially two of them.
I mean, and Brandon Thatcher's looking okay. The knees were there. They were.
He looked loose,
sharp. Just whack. You're on your back, and Gunnar Nelson's on top of you. It's over.
Yeah.
It was a matter of time from there.
He's seeing 4 of him, and unfortunately, all 4 of them were Gunnar Nelson. But there was one thing they commentated on, saying that the Irish crowd saw a pale dude, and they adopted him.
The trickle down Irish cheers from the crowd.
Yeah.
Well, he is. I mean, there's 2 reasons. 3, let's say. Then he is pale. And they went, all right, that's Irish. He's obviously a teammate of Conor McGregor. So there's number 2.
Yeah.
And when you've been on the Guinness all day, Iceland looks like Ireland, doesn't it?
Yeah.
He's one of ours.
I mean, the flags aren't similar, but I'm guessing they're just like, fuck it, I can't see the flag anyway. It's look alright.
I think also, his old man might be Connor's manager or some of that, or used to be his manager.
Well, that's it. They're teammates and stuff like that. I think they've been through a bit together.
Yeah.
I think his old man might be Thor.
Wow, yeah. But, I thought, well, this welterweight division is stacked, though, so you get a fight like this and you're like, that's an amazing fight, but what does it mean in the picture of the top 5? Not a whole lot. It's a great fight, but now you want to try and get into a top 5, and it's been sort of bandied around a bit that it's looking like the belt will go around a few times. Obviously, we'll get to the welterweight belt later on, but it's going to be hard to break in the top 5 even with a big win like this.
All you can do with those is keep winning. I mean, his only loss is a split decision and a 5-round split decision. So he's bounced back enough from that. And he's European, so they're looking to expand into those sort of countries in Scandinavia and that as well. So, and like I said, hasn't got a scratch on him.
Yeah.
So it's not like he's going to have a medical suspension or anything like that. He can turn around and, I'm ready. Who's next?
He probably did on the way home.
He could fight Donald Cerrone tomorrow.
Yeah, both of them.
He probably had 3 fights on the way to the airport.
I thought when he did hit the ground, like we said, one of the best grapplers going around. When he was straight into mount, I thought he was just going to go the ground and pound. This one's over.
Yeah.
With the knockout when they were standing, got straight to mount. It looked like he was Thatch was actually getting out, and then just switched straight over to side control. Yep. No worries. Into knee ride or knee on belly.
Yeah, he did a couple of knee on bellies. He didn't
see that very often these days.
I don't really know why. I understand that the fighters get sweaty. They get so hard to grasp onto that they can move out. But as soon as someone puts their hand on your knee, that elbow's exposed. So I'm guessing it's just they prefer to go for different percentage moves.
Yeah, I mean, it is more high percentage in the gi because you've got something to grab onto and hold them there. Yeah. But you do tend to like to try and keep more weight on the opponent, and shoulder and head pressure and all that kind of stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you saw Roy Nelson knee on belly someone, they'd be tapping right there.
If somebody knee on belly on Roy Nelson, they could also do their knee.
Yeah, it's because they stole his nuggets or something.
And then moves around to the back, and I thought, it's obviously okay. Thatch gave him his back, and it's starting to think, all right, where's the door?
Yep.
Where's the gate? And then I thought it was interesting. He went straight for the body triangle, and that allowed him to lean back. So I mean, if you only just got your hooks in, you can't lean back.
Yeah,
they're starting to escape. But he's leaned back and just rocking punches in, just going, "Come on, guys, just slip it swatting under the chin."
And one thing people don't see so much too, unless you've been in that spot where you've been body triangled by a strong dude. You can't breathe for shit.
Yeah, I think the commentators say it every time, but it hurts.
Yeah, bloody hurts.
I remember I tapped Tommy Coughlin doing that once in a cruel way, who's only about 60 kilos soaking wet.
Yeah. So it's a very excited Gunnar Nelson that gets his hands raised.
Yeah.
The typical. It's hard to smile in Iceland. You might crack something. So he's just very happy to just take it and go on. Where's the next one?
Yep, pretty much. It's pretty common for Scandinavian sports stars, isn't it? I know we do the F1 podcast with Kimi Raikonnen and that. You don't get much words out of them either. So, I don't know, maybe, life isn't too happy.
I'd love to see that with Gunnar Nelson too. Like, if the corner's like, get to his back. He's like, I know what I'm doing. Shut up.
Next fight on the card is in the featherweight division, and we've got Dennis the Menace Bermudez versus Jeremy Little Heathen Stevens.
See, I'm fine with both those nicknames.
Good job, Dennis the Menace. Fuck off. You can't. Little Heathen's brilliant. Dennis. My name's Dennis. I'll go for the Menace.
Yeah, Little Heathen. I think that'll maybe be second or third to Uncle Creepy. It's got to be the best one, surely.
I mean, you got Little Evil was Jens Pulver, so then you got Little Heathen. Yep. So you're forming a stable there, aren't you? They're going to be in the next Suicide Squad movie.
They're going to be the next Team Alpha Male.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but
Dennis the Menace is lazy.
There's no medium size. Like, they've got Little Heathen or Big Daddy, Big Country. Where's medium size?
Yeah, you got Bigfoot, Big Country, Little Heathen, Little Evil. You got
plus then you got like the Portuguese versions of
Ronaldinho, Tomasinho, which means Little Thomas or whatever.
Yeah, you got Big Nog, Little Nog.
Isn't
they're the same
size?
So.
Bigfoot's Peugeot, which like the A-O suffix, prefix, suffix, whatever the fuck it is.
No, Peugeot, that's the beans you get at the Churrascaria.
So Bermudez versus Jeremy Stevens. This one had a lot of action. A lot of Bermudez pressing Jeremy Stevens in the first round, but also Stevens actually came in overweight for this fight. So I think he lost some of his purse for that.
I think 20% is standard, but it's very disappointing because it's this is what ranked. Bermudez is ranked 8th and Stevens is ranked 11th.
Yes. Yeah.
So 2 ranked fighters and one of them misses weight. It is very disappointing.
Yeah. Plus Bermudez has had a couple of important fights, I believe, in the last couple. I remember, because especially in that division, it's pretty much who's going to take on DJ. Dodson's next, but the one after that is sort of up for grabs, and I think he's in the mix for getting those ones.
Yeah, he tagged Guida, and then he had Lamar's and now Stevens.
Guida's sort of been one of those gatekeepers for almost for his whole career.
Yeah, yeah.
In that division, but there was I love how they put up the fight stats as they're going, and one of the fight stats they put up was strikes. It was 30 to 20 or whatever. There was no point putting up significant strikes and strikes as two different stats because they were one and the same.
There was, in that fight,
every strike was significant. There was some monsters thrown. It looked like a home run derby.
Well, that's the thing is I think Stevens maybe tried to go a bit too hard in the first round. Like he was swinging a bit too hard for the fences, a bit too predictable, a bit too round.
He had those big haymakers happening.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was as well because he lost the first couple of minutes. And spent when he got that cut, which from the headbutt. We got taken down and spent a lot of time, on his side or with Bermudez on his back.
Yeah.
So when he finally got back to his feet, I think he was throwing those haymakers just to try and get some ground back, but also buy him some time.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. It was like watching a Geelong footy match. Joel Selwood got cut and then decided he wanted to play.
Then he's going to try and break people's, arms and legs and whatever else they got.
But when they did hit the ground, I thought Bermudez was a little bit lazy on it. He had a great position, and in the sort of, I guess, a side mount. It's not really a half guard. It's almost on the back. He's just putting in some nice left hands to keep him there and score his points.
Yeah.
But I didn't see a reason to stop throwing him.
No, he did seem too driven to try and get the back mount RNC.
Or you going for the arm triangle.
Well, he didn't seem to really try and consolidate arm triangle because he got in position where he could jump out to the side where the cage was.
Yes.
But instead of flattening himself out and squeezing, he brought himself...
Yeah.
Well, no, even when he rolled over, he started to be able to make some room. But instead of stretching out and moving him, he kind of clutched up and then tried to get the second hook in, which is that's a percentage move too. If you get the back, that's brilliant.
Yeah, there was the cage there. I mean, he had the arm position, the arm triangle. It was in. He just had no room. And then he, probably made the wise decision then. But I still thought the punches when he was on top, there was no reason to stop throwing them. He wasn't defending them.
Well, especially since Stevens had to post up on his left hand, and so he's either got to post up and maintain that position or try and defend the punches, and he's going to get flattened out.
Especially when he's got that big cut on his eye. It came from a headbutt and whatever. But if you throw in, he threw three groups of 3 punches, and I think he threw probably 7 or 8 in total.
Yeah,
throw 20. Make that cut yours.
Yeah, exactly.
So it takes it out of the judge's mind. And, when he got up, he had a crimson mask anyway.
And especially in that part of the face, you don't need to throw punches. You just rest a forearm across there or whatever.
Squeezes a bit more out.
That's it. Advantages are taken, not handed out. Into the second.
The last thing I was going to say about that, but all through it, Stevens had a great view of the screen. I'm guessing he's looking at. Yeah. Never looked worried. Yeah. Never looked troubled. He knew where he was.
Yeah.
And when he got up, tried to get some points back. But to me, it was a 10-9, but so close to a 10-8.
Yeah.
Could have been the 10-8.
It's one where you just look at that as part one of the first round, more or less. You go to the next one, and that's the way I'll go.
Well, the second one I thought was actually 10-10. Stevens came out and had a couple of early telling punches, but then Bermudez sort of controlled the fight for a couple of minutes.
Again, it was like a video game, wasn't it? There was no jabs, no crosses. Everything was a home
button
run.
mash.
Yep.
And then Bermudez threw that flying knee, and it's one of those ones where he's jumped and regretted it almost halfway through. Oh, well, I've got to wait till I land now.
And it's like the first person, like in the fight before, they see a flying knee, and it's like it's gone around backstage like herpes at summer camp or something. And even the one that Stevens ended up landing for the knockout, like a fadeaway knee, but it looked like the old down, up A from Mortal Kombat or something like that.
That was the tiger knee from Sagat in Street Fighter.
That's the one.
Yeah, and I haven't seen it done better.
It's a fadeaway jumper.
Yeah,
and just connected so sweet.
Yeah, and you could just see when he's ducked down for that punch, Stevens. It's almost like he hasn't had to think about it. It's just I got to give it a go. It's almost like almost like a haymaker, but just throwing your knees. And so I'll give it a crack and see what happens.
Yeah,
and I mean, that's happened. I work out once or twice.
Well, they call it a puncher's chance, but I guess a knee is chance is the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah, you'll take it if you get it.
Sammy Mitchell would have been happy at that one.
He loved it so much, he even jumped the fence.
Did it easy with.
Started doing high fives to the crowd. Said good day to Iron Mike and Joe.
Give Joe a fist bump. Yeah, get back in there. Like I said, it's such a shame that he missed weight because being 11th ranked fighter, you beat somebody ranked higher than yourself. It's a great chance to start pushing claims and get more big fights.
Yeah,
but it's not going to happen.
It'd be interesting to see if he's a certainty to move up weight now, especially with IVs not being allowed for recovery.
You'd
have to think that that's probably his last foray down to the featherweight anyway.
Which I think would actually suit him more. The higher weight division. I mean, it's going to be a different competition.
Yeah,
but if he has to cut so much to get down to that weight, now he doesn't have to. Well, he's obviously not doing it anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So he's probably going good until he has to fight for a belt. Yeah. He's like, shit, now I'm going to make weight.
But either way, great fight, and I think it's building the main card. It's just building so fucking beautifully. Mm-hmm. We had Ruthless Robbie Lawler, and Rory Red King McDonald.
Rory Red King McDonald.
Fuck! I tell you what, he was Red King too. There was claret everywhere.
I think with the Reebok deal and now the cross promotion with Walking Dead, it's just going too far.
But if you looked at Rory's face, it looked like the health meter from Wolfenstein 3D. Just, the more he got beat up, it was just like.
Well, maybe Rory sniffing sideways, McDonald.
Well, right from the start, I mean, in the lead up, Rogan and a lot of others have called this the sleeper fight of the card because all the focus is on McGregor and Aldo.
A belt fight's a sleeper fight.
Yeah,
and just Robbie Lawler versus Rory McDonald.
I got to be honest. For the first round, I thought those two fighters were the ones that were sleeping on it.
Yeah,
and I was going, oh, really? It was such a cautious, very cautious. Both guys who gone in going, okay, it's going to be a 5-rounder. I'm not going to push him over. Last time they fought, they went to a decision. So they knew they had 2 extra rounds to
was
go
that
this
split
time.
decision? Yeah, it was. I think it was a pretty close one. It was a really close fight. Like, could have gone either way. But this time I thought Rory came out a little bit too flat. Kept his head right in the pocket and didn't slip the jab enough. He didn't change levels or give Robbie enough to think about.
He's got a nice reach advantage, and it took him a couple of rounds before he really started to use it, especially with his kicks.
Towards the end of round 3, he was giving him a fair dicking. Just to close off that round, and you saw John McCarthy was right there in case there was a 5-punch combo that would have meant, he's not defending himself, and he was about to call it. But, the round went out, and then Lawler decided, not having it.
Yeah, well, but back in round 2, I thought that it was still cautious. They're still working up into the fight, but you can see that Rory's focus was on body shots.
Yeah.
Even punches going straight, and a couple of kicks that were to the midsection or starting to get very close to some groin shots, but they were still landing their mark. And it was like, again, looking for they're both playing the long game. Yeah. These punches aren't going to stop him, but they're going to wear on, and try and take his gas tank out.
They'd have to both be piss and blood for at least a few more weeks.
Yeah, well, if they've got any left to get rid of it.
Well,
It could just be water going straight in the mouth and out, whatever holes they got left plugged, unplugged.
But, I mean, the second round was also the round, while I was watching it live, I was tweeted, like, I've never seen Robbie Lawler move so well.
Yeah,
his footwork
definitely
was unbelievable.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So
he's
lively.
He was defending the takedowns like he was the red blanket that a matador uses or something. As soon as you go for it, he just fly
those legs
top,
at the back.
And away he was.
He had such a good takedown. I think it was in the third round. He had the best sprawl I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And I think there was one in this round where Rory had his leg and he just went nut. And
he almost BJ penned it.
Yeah,
just because he was almost had maybe just about 3 points on the ground, but still managed to defend and then make him punish him a couple of times. And you see Rory's head just snap back from a couple of those straight punches.
This is where the jabs, and it's something that we said earlier that the jab is the most underused.
Yeah,
and they were talking about it in his camp and GSP and how good they are at that jab. This is the round where it started to really show through, and a few of them started to find the mark.
Yeah, I found that Lawler utilised a lot more angles as well to find a home for that jab. Whereas
because he was moving so well.
Yeah, exactly. I think Rory is just a bit too flat. Now I would like to see him change levels a bit, fake a couple of takedowns, and then try and get inside. But he couldn't just stay. He needed to be in or out, not staying where he was, and just copying the straight left.
Well, the whole main card, it seems like the fighters moved really well. Especially compared to the last UFC in Mexico they had that was elevation, 9 million or whatever it was, and the fighters all look shagged just walking to the ring.
Yeah.
But here, fuck me, I don't know what's in the water, but maybe it's crack. I don't know. They were fired up.
Well, it's Vegas. They've got to do anything they can with the water they've got. They're running out of it. But you look, round 3 is where the blood really started to flow.
Yeah.
But it was also when I thought Rory started to get on top and the reach started to come into it, especially those kicks.
Yeah.
The little teep kick, wasn't it? A little teep front, just to put the distance away, and then he'd go up high and try and wrap around the back of his head.
Yeah, nice high kicks. And that, like you said earlier, the third round was the round where it could have ended.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought, in that last 20 seconds, you could see he was measuring the knockout punch. I thought, go for the flurry, son.
That's what I thought.
You'll get a TKO here. You're not going to knock him out.
That's the other thing. You can't aim a duck to death. You got to pull the trigger.
And Robbie Lawler, he's got that pointy head that just seems unknockoutable.
Yeah. He's a hard nut.
Well, that's I think it was on a Rogan's podcast. He was talking about he doesn't understand why his name isn't the Canadian Psycho. Like, it seems like a natural fit.
It looked like it in this one, didn't it?
Yeah. He looked like almost like a Chernobyl victim or something coming out for the fourth or fifth,
like a ghoul out of Fallout.
Yeah. Or even
just because I've been playing Fallout.
When you see the new ad for Batman, you got Jared Leto as the Joker.
Yeah,
the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. I saw Jared Leto dressed up as some freak.
Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
But that was his chance in the third. That was his chance to finish it.
Yep.
Like you say, aim a duck to death is a good way to do it. He was looking for that perfect shot.
Just didn't pull the trigger.
He tried everything though. You saw him do the elbow, like where he's swinging out around the elbows. He was trying to get the punch. He was trying to do a knee.
I thought
he just couldn't get the winning combination.
Yeah, but if Lawler's blocking him, keep throwing him.
Yeah,
because when he's blocking him, he's not punching you. He's punching you.
The other thing is that forearms don't block knees either.
Not that well. Ask was it Rich Franklin?
Yeah, who got it broke by Anderson.
No, Chuck Liddell.
Oh, that's right.
Remember?
Yeah, that's right. And he still came back and beat him.
He still beat him with a broken forearm.
Damn,
but I was thinking this should have finished like Liddell and Ortiz.
Yeah,
and that one. Remember, it's just like in case, just flurry.
Yeah, just flurry.
If he started, it's not Rory McDonald style, but I mean, I know you're tired. It's 3 rounds. It's the end of the third, but you got 20 seconds and it was over. But he was looking for the knockout. Should have gone for the TKO rather than the KO. But you take your points and you go back and you would have felt very confident that the next minute's going to be it.
Yeah, but at the end of the fourth, I thought Lawler didn't look that hurt. He looked like he's like, nah, I'm not having this today.
End of the second win,
end of the third, he looked out.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then he came out, even the first minute of the fourth, I thought he's not bouncing around anymore.
Yeah.
And then you're right, it just came back to life.
Yeah, and even for Sahabi, who is the striking coach for Rory, he said that it looked like Rory was more of a 3-round strategy as opposed to the 5-round. I think it was only his third 5-round fight for Rory, I think. I don't know if that was just an excuse to use, but...
It's the first time he's been to the fourth round. Like he's had other 5-round fights. Yeah. The first time he's been to the fourth.
Yeah, because I think he's only other ones headlining 5-round fights. Yeah, that's his first title shot.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm pretty sure. So Zahavi said that it just looked like he wasn't the right strategy to make it go over 5 rounds. But you saw it at the end of the fourth, where they just stopped and just stared at each other. It looked like 2 lions fighting over a kill or something, where there's literally other bloody mouths and just, all right, who's going to take it?
I did say that watching it. You see a lot of fighters who've put in just all on the line, and they come out for the 5th round, and they'll sort of... McCarthy made them touch gloves, but often afterwards they'll just sort of touch their glove like, yeah, I respect you, mate. Yeah. Let's finish this off big. And those 2 guys, they didn't want respect. They wanted the belt, both of them.
It was funny, that stare down, though, because it was... they weren't pretending that, I've still got plenty left, I'm going to come kill you. They're like, I fought a fucking war, but I'm not done.
But almost like...
Are you done? I'm not done.
It almost looked like a bug in the UFC game or something, where the 2 characters are stuck there sort of standing in their little sort of meander pose, where they just stay in the one spot.
It was, both of them were waiting for the other one to crack. Yeah. And they're like, I hope you do, because I'm just about there.
Yeah. Well, I can't be fucked moving.
But, okay, so into the fourth, we saw on Twitter or Facebook or something, somebody showed that both judges had it 39-37.
Yeah, 3-1, so whatever that works out to be.
3 rounds to 1 for Rory.
Yeah.
I had it even.
Yeah, I had 2-2 going in.
I had it 2-2, and I thought, well, this is it. This is the championship round.
Yep. And I thought that's how you win a championship round.
And beautifully set up.
And the thing is, in the 5th round of a fight like that, you're not going to be going for go-go platters and shit in the 5th. You just put that jab out there and you just hope it lands more than his does. Just keep it simple.
like, yeah, he broke his nose, but that wasn't just a one-punch thing. He'd be bumping that nose all night.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was death of 1,000 jabs.
Yeah. I think his suspension might have been 6 months as well. You're going to be cleared to fight for 6 months after that.
You can see it because the replays were beautiful and they showed it. It was a good jab.
Yeah.
It's not a knockout punch by any stretch of the imagination.
But even they didn't show the 3 or 4 before that, just in that round.
Yeah.
Because there were that many good clean ones that led up to that sort of... I mean, if you only just saw that, you'd say it was the anticlimax. But watching the whole fight, it definitely was an anticlimax finish.
No. And it looked like Lawler had his third wind or fourth wind or whatever because he was bouncing around again.
And then you saw it with
just before the end.
The cut lip that he had. And like he's still going... It looked like Predator. Flap. It looked like Predator going when he takes his mask off.
Venom.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can see Rory's taking the jab and going, no, I'm there.
Yeah. Well, you see him grab his own nose, but his hand's on his cheek. Yeah. And he's like,
it's like he's touched his nose and gone, no,
like,
that's not right.
Something like that. And the thing is, I'm sure everyone's been cracked in the nose once, even if it's just fallen off a bike or whatever. And like that, it's either annoying or it hurts like hell, but not enough to, it's just, you're pissed off because there's nothing you do about it.
Yeah.
But imagine that happening like every 15 seconds. After a while, you're like, fuck this shit. Like, whatever it is, I'm done.
For 21 minutes.
Yeah.
And then your nasal canal ends up turning into a U-bend.
Yeah, you can see pretty much your memory just bleeding out your nose from your brain.
And when he was sitting on the canvas and after the fight's been called, you can see him, he's looking at it and going, I did it, everything I could.
Yeah,
everything I could, that bastard wouldn't go down.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they tweeted the picture of him after the fight, and he looked like that English rugby union player who married one of the royals. Just the nose is smashed across his face.
He's going to need a lot of surgery on that nose. Like, I mean, not just after the fight, but 6 months and 12 months just so he can breathe again.
But I mean, what are they going to do? He's not going to go into a surgeon and say, all right, yeah, I want it to be perfect, because he's just going to fucking break it again anyway.
Open it up.
Skeletor style. Just straight across. Just
Voldemort.
Just straight down.
Just Voldemort it.
Yep.
Some dude in Mexico had that operation done once.
I'm sure lots of them have.
Yeah. Just like, I think this was actually a decision he made, not the drug cartel, though. But you can't fault either guys in this fight. Look, they've already fought twice now, but geez, you must want to see a third.
You sell a pay-per-view on the third, in 2017, whenever they're both ready to fight again.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost a shame that they're on the not the top billing for this one, because that would be spectacular for them, but. The whole main card.
Look, that fight is a future Hall of Fame fight. There's just no doubt.
Yeah, and how good to be in front of the Hall of Fame inductees at this round as well.
Yeah.
BJ Penn was there, Buzz was there.
BJ Penn was probably saying he'd take them both on still now.
Well, he probably would. I mean, he'd have a go.
He doesn't go.
He definitely wouldn't say no to the challenge.
But everybody's on their feet there. And what a brilliant setup into the fight that's really carried the promotion of this card. You can't argue.
I'll tell you what, you wouldn't want front row seats for that fight, though, because you'd be, if you wore white, you're walking away covered in blood.
You got to have the poncho.
Yeah, you get a free AIDS test on the way out.
It's like those Gallagher bloody magic shows where they smash the watermelons and shit.
Yeah. I think that's every Gallagher show. Yeah, that's pretty much all he does. And his brother. But you saw Dana was in the octagon at this one talking to Rory as well. He must be so happy with what's happened on this pay-per-view.
I reckon Rory's going to have enough cash from this fight to sit out for 6 months.
He's going to be more than 6 months before he fights again.
Yeah. Well, Dana White was saying this is the most promotion they've ever done for a pay-per-view. And fuck, if they've got even a 10% increase in viewership, the next pay-per-view is already sold, because this main card was spectacular.
Well, the thing is, they've been slamming Jose Aldo about pulling out, and they had so much money on the line for this card. Jose Aldo has just made them about another $3 or $4 million in ticket sales at the gate, at least, for the next fight, because they made that plus more on this one. Like Dana said that after it got announced that Mendez was stepping in for Aldo, the ticket sales actually spiked, and more people started buying tickets. So you can imagine the build-up it's going to have for the next actual Jose versus McGregor fight. So you've got this one out of all that build-up from McGregor and Aldo, plus the actual McGregor and Aldo fight. Yeah. Well, it's like a 2-for-1 card.
The only question is, where are they going to fight?
In Vegas. He's already said definitely Vegas.
Definitely Vegas?
Yeah.
All right. Fucking should have been in Melbourne. But that's a good lead-in into the main event.
The main event.
So first thing about the main event is the live walkout music. I don't think they've done this before.
No.
Not I remember. But Sinead O'Connor first up, which, for starters, who would have thought you'd seen Sinead O'Connor in a UFC event?
Yeah, well, apparently saw the correspondent, well, not saw the correspondence, but heard Dana talking about it. And they asked her, they said, Connor said he wanted Sinead, And they sent her an email, got in touch with her or whatever, and they said, have you heard of the UFC? And she goes, nope, but I've heard of Conor.
Wow.
Yep.
That's
So she said, I'm in.
And honestly, it was the vocal equivalent of bagpipes.
Yes.
Yeah.
It got a lot of flack. It was broken. It was wobbling. It was
Irish as fuck.
She did need a pot in one hand.
We would have done with a nice pint.
Yeah. She probably should have walked off stage and fought someone as well. So
you could see like that she was trying to get her earpiece fixed up, and so she was having trouble there. But I thought that as raw or as wobbly, it just suited the occasion perfectly. And I went onto Facebook to check Sinead O'Connor's official page to see what she'd been saying or leading up to it. And I don't think she announced or anything like that. But she did say something big's coming.
Yep.
And then she put up the lyrics for the song and the history of what the song was about and the fighting and all that kind of stuff. And then the very next thing was, what's this cunt doing on the front of Rolling Stone magazine? Which is Kim Kardashian. And I thought, jeez. Now, I believe you, but there would have been a lot of UFC fans who have gone to check this, seen that's the next thing you put and gone, yep, she's all right.
I think she
like and follow.
I think she proclaimed that music is dead after that
That's
cover.
exactly what she said, yep.
I think she knows because she just sang the obituary.
And then for the Chad Mendes coming out with the country music, I thought that Sinead won.
Yep,
She won
definitely.
that.
I think that was the bloke from Stained who apparently sings country music now. So
Really?
yeah,
I
So,
think he's
there
on
you
the
go.
Rogan podcast coming up soon.
Oh, is he
too,
really?
so-
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I think they
Jesus,
teed it up after that, didn't they?
I would love to see Sinead on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Oh, geez, it'd be fantastic.
Yeah, you probably need a translator on there too.
She's got some strong opinions.
Get Dom Herrera.
A couple. I mean, what's the verbal equivalent of tearing a picture of the Pope?
I was thinking about that today. I don't think it'd be as controversial if she went on Saturday Night Live and tore a picture of the Pope these days.
No.
Well, maybe this Pope, because this Pope's got a better reputation. But the last one, nobody would have cared.
But even so, I think a lot of people would be like, oh, is that what he looks like?
Yeah, that'd be
I
too.
don't know, if the Northerners come down and firebomb him or something.
And last thing on that, I did see that Jim Norton was thanking everybody for congratulating him on his performance.
Yeah, I saw that as well. I was thinking like Tim Gorman up there singing while he's...
And Bruce Buffer on fucking
Wasn't
game,
he?
wasn't he?
Even Connor cleared the octagon for him, got the cameraman out of the road, give me stage.
Which is good because Connor wasn't doing it for the cameras; he was doing it for the people there.
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
His dance and warm up, and then the big pose. Look, is he Rousey level?
In terms of being over, yes.
It has to be.
Yeah, I think he said that him and Rousey are the ones leading the way, and I mean, Rousey's hers almost sells itself kind of thing.
Yep.
Whereas Connor is just taking it to that next level.
Well, I think because they've got the Reebok deal and the champion shirts now, they can really drill down the analytics of what shirt sells most. I would be shocked if Connor's wasn't number one. Like, even though Rousey is a better household name, Connor is the one who will sell merch.
And he's obviously newer to the game than Rousey as well. And Rousey's doing movies and all that kind of shit. I think that Connor's got he's the next Ultimate Fighter coach, but there's a lot of big ticket items coming his way.
And I'll tell you what, I've sort of drifted through Tough series for a while, and none of them really have stood out in mind, but seeing Connor on there, he is a showman. It's going to be fantastic. The last one I remember enjoying the coaches was Rashad Evans and Rampage Jackson.
Yeah.
Just because they're both hilarious. Rampage, just the shit he says is crazy. But this one, I think you're going to see the same sort of thing. Constant niggle, constant ripping on each other, and it's going to be spectacular.
The other thing I loved was before the fight, Herb Dean going through the instructions, and both of them had just kept talking.
Yeah.
And Herb Dean goes, all right, well, I've got to get through this.
whatever.
Let's just keep going. They're not listening, and it doesn't matter.
It was a constant chat and niggle, and it was like he was in a first slip in the Nash's test. He was just constantly...
And it wasn't like it was a surprise either.
No.
Everyone knew this was going to happen.
Well, even Mendes said after he goes, you got to give the man credit. He didn't stop talking shit the whole fight.
And you can see it all the way through. He's commentating. He's saying, how about this? How about that? He needs to be mic'd up somehow.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he did say it was a strategy that he employed. I mean,
And it worked.
It's not surprising because it's a pretty, standard strategy, really.
For him.
I think also it seems like he amps himself up with it. Like he's like, I'm about to come with the right, and then, that's what gets him in that zone, the intensity.
Gets him a bit loose.
Gets him really fired up.
Yeah.
I think Yes, it does, but I think it's him too. It's very natural. I mean, even like all the stories about the bet that he tried to place with the Fatigues.
Suddenly it seems like they're lucky he didn't make that bet because he could have retired.
Well, he's betting with their money anyway, really.
Essentially, yeah. But it's not like Floyd Mayweather, who puts on those $1 million bets and takes a photo and tweets it and puts it on Instagram.
Yeah.
He tried to do it on the sly.
Yeah.
He wanted to be quiet about it. He didn't want the publicity. He wanted the money.
Yeah, well, because he said I was going to bring it up, but Dana put it out there. So yeah, it was actually $3.5 million.
I did look, picked around with Sports Tab.
Yep.
Connor in the second was paying 6s.
6, yep, not bad.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
Cool 18.
That is pretty good considering there's $3.5 million in the pot already.
Yeah.
That's sort of like, oh, geez, that's a fair payday if you could have found a bookie.
Everything leading up to it, they finally ring the bell. First 4 seconds, I think Connor's plan is clear.
Yep.
Let's kill him with cardio.
Yeah.
It was, let's push the pace. He's short notice or whatever, but he's a stocky lad. We're going full on, flat out from the get-go. But ended up on his back in the first 10 seconds.
Yeah, and he said afterwards, his coach, I think it's John Kavanagh, I think that's what his name is, said that they actually hadn't practiced in live round of wrestling the whole training. Said Connor had a niggle with his knee or something. He only got back to full strength 2 weeks out or something like that. So he said he was concerned about it, but that's why they practiced the teep kicks just in the guts, just work on it.
Just keep the distance.
Stab him in the gas tank, as he said.
I'll tell you what, though, those takedowns, perfect.
Oh, they were nice, weren't they?
He lifted, grabbed the back of the thighs, turned the corner beautifully.
Each one was different, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, the first one he almost fell into it, but you still got to do it. But the other one's the textbook stuff.
With authority.
Yeah, it was a really nice turn to the corner as well. Just minimal effort, but the thing is, he made his takedowns easy, but then when he was on the ground, he put in explosive effort for no result.
Well, that first elbow.
Yeah, that one elbow, that was really nice, actually.
And opened him up and won the round.
Yeah. I think he had to be a bit smarter on the ground, maybe more patient as well. You probably want to get Connor against the fence and then start doing that, not do it in the middle of the mat.
He did also get a final warning for fingers in the face.
I think he was lucky to get that many warnings, to be honest.
Yeah, he got a lot of warnings. He looked like he was, and Goldie even mentioned it, trying to cover his mouth.
Yeah, which is a legit tactic.
Is it a good tactic?
It's cheap. And
it's like toe stomps, more or less. Kind of thing. But the thing is, there are still gifts online, and I'll try and get it and put it on our website. I think it might have been off Shirto or something, so I'll give him credit, whoever did it. But it shows a slow motion of him putting the fingers in the eye, but it looks like he's trying to go for the cut. Put his fingers in the cut and open that up. And if it slips into the eye, it's not such a bad thing, you know what I mean? But it looks like he's really trying to irritate the cut across the eyebrow just to make it nice and loose.
To me, the hand over the mouth is like the north-south belly smother. It's a tactic that can be mildly effective, but it's cheap and I don't think you're going to win.
Even mildly effective, I think, is selling it too far.
I think if you can put a hand over their mouth, you can punch them in the mouth.
I've seen it, a lot of them do it and then slip the elbow down.
Yeah, that one's nice.
Or they put the palm into the chin and then turn the face.
Yeah. But with that and all the talking that Connor's doing and Chad's,
But that's just what he was trying to do, shut him the fuck up.
That's exactly
I don't know if he was smiling and trying to talk back or if he was smiling because he was actually laughing.
Yeah.
But I think that his tactic should have been shut your mouth and just fight.
Yeah.
Because it was one of Connor's plans and it worked.
Yeah.
Having said all that, Chad Mendes won the first round, I thought, clearly.
Yeah, definitely.
And when it got to the ground, Connor was... had a clear plan, was right, we'll stall it and then we'll try and get it stood back up. I'll do my punches to show that I'm not laying dead.
Yep.
Because that can lose you too much.
Yeah.
But as soon as there was an opening, bang, back to his feet. So quick.
Well, he looked comfortable in having Chad in his guard as well. With not working that hard to try and get out, he was waiting for his opportunities. And I think that just allowed... Well, he sat there and watched Chad work his ass off swimming, trying to land the occasional elbow, and watch him sap all his energy, and then as soon as the situation was there, he'd pop back up to 1 foot. He might wear a punch on the way up, but you've got to expect that to go back to your feet.
I was surprised that Mendes didn't try to pass guard.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Not enough. You're doing a lot of ground and pound from the guard and using a lot of energy, but when he did go to pass the guard, got through real quick.
Yeah. And had he got there earlier and taken his time a little bit more, who knows, maybe he could have at least got it to another round, but as it was, it just seemed like he realised that there was only a minute to go, and then, all right, now I'm going to move.
Well, he did pass the guard at one stage in the first round, and that was when Connor went, right, no, none of this shit. He looked, when he was in guard, he was calm, waiting, patient. As soon as he passed guard, it's like, okay, there's no pretenses here, I'm in trouble, let's move, let's hit this way, that way, slippery, anything, out, Yeah. Right, back to guard in the first time. Next time, back to your feet. And now, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Which is where I want the fight.
It looked like he almost had him in cradle, but had the wrong leg pinned, so he could still post up on one arm and the bottom leg, which he did, and then he got back up, wore a punch, and away they went.
The other thing I really noticed in the first round was Connor was combing his hair back a lot.
Yeah.
Needs to shave it or go back to the top knot or something.
Braids or whatever he's doing before,
But almost left himself open once or twice. But it was very noticeable.
He did, yeah. And I think with this strategy against Chad Mendes, I think he is much more confident keeping his hands a bit lower as well and being able to do that, keep the distance, because Chad's going to look for takedowns as he did and was very successful with them. So,
well, he does naturally keep his arms fairly low.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just trying to keep it out the way of his mouth. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think he's trying to invite him to a bit of a stand-up.
Invite them onward, as they say.
And to get ready to stop the takedowns.
Yeah.
But anyway, at the end of the first, and they go to the stools. I thought it was great to to hear what they were saying. McGregor's corner was saying he's tired, he's ready. This is what's happening.
Yeah.
No doubt they lost the round.
Yep.
But they were exactly where they wanted to be.
Yeah, they ticked the boxes for that sort of round.
See, everyone talks about McGregor's arrogance and confidence, but that game plan, it worked.
It worked.
Yeah. He had it nutted out to the nth degree, and he won exactly the way he said he was going to do, and maybe he's $80 million richer. I don't know.
And then they went over to the other corner, and you can see Chad. He's like, "Shit,
yeah,
wow, that was a long round."
Yeah.
And even though his corner said, you do this, you got to watch for the left, and it's there. That's one round in the books. You won that round.
Yeah.
Like they knew they won that round.
Yeah.
You can see in Chad, he's like, "Shit, I spent a lot of tickets to get that one."
And you know that he's going to, at that point, you have to think that he knows this isn't going 5 rounds. One way or the other. And so he's going to do his best to make sure that it's him coming out the victor.
Well, he knows he's not going 5 rounds.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and maybe that's why he didn't try and pass guard. He was trying to conserve energy, but from inside guard, it's not quite as easy.
Well, in the second round, he got the takedown and spent a lot of time on top.
Yeah.
And you're right, he was throwing the odd elbow here and there and doing a bit of ground and pound, but certainly not a flurry. And it was definitely a resting period for him.
Yeah, and he's starting trying to set up guillotines as well, but just too loose.
But even so, from the bottom, you did see Connor go high with his guard quite a few times and squeeze the ribs a bit, which it's one of those small things that if you can't get a full deep breath in, you feel a bit starved of oxygen. And it's a small thing, but it adds up.
Yeah, I think he was also just trying to make sure he kept the distance from the guard. He didn't want him to get too far through because he knows once he passes the guard, it's real trouble.
Yeah, he tried to annoy him with some elbows too, just to make sure that Chad kept busy. Like he wouldn't let Chad rest. As soon as he tried to be still, he'd put in an elbow or he'd look at the ref and go, "Nah, stand us up," just so Chad always felt like onus on him to keep busy.
Do something.
It was constant hustle.
Yeah, and it was smart too, asking the ref, "Oh, stand us up," and even Joe was like, "What are you talking about?" He's been throwing
he's fighting.
He didn't expect him to stand up at all.
There's a reason why he's doing it, so that Chad doesn't stop, so that he keeps on putting in the effort,
and he has to keep spending those petrol tickets.
He did. Yeah,
like I said, smart.
And Chad complained to Herb Dean at one stage about the elbows to the top of the head.
Yeah.
Because I guess they're almost a 12-6 elbow from the bottom.
The movement is 12-6, but as far as I'm aware, it was always from the top.
From the top.
It was illegal. But even then,
Yeah, and I think we've spoken before about why it's illegal is because some dickheads saw karate dudes smashing ice bricks with 12-6 elbows. It's a stupid rule, but anyway... It was very weird, and then finally Chad passed the guard. It looked like the first attempt at passing the guard.
Yeah.
Hunting the neck, which is something that he does very well, and it became obvious that it's exactly what Connor was waiting for.
Yeah, he's baited him with
it. It did seem like he grabbed the chin rather than his own hand.
The chin strap's a good control, but then the idea is to then pull it forward so you can get under it.
Yeah, but you got two guys who are pretty sweaty, blood slicked, and those gloves aren't great for that cupping sort of.
But as soon as Connor saw it, I think it was under for half a millisecond. But that's as soon as Connor goes right now, and then straight into the alligator roll, back to the feet, and you could see it very clearly, gave a little nod.
Yeah,
you won that 4 minutes.
Yeah,
there's 9 minutes of this fight so far. You're 2 rounds. You can't win points in this round. Gave him a little nod and went, "Yep." And you can see Chad's gone, "I'm done."
He's on the big huff where it was like the duck dance where your arms got to go.
Yep. And you can see it in his eyes.
Yeah,
I'm finished.
Yeah, I'm done. And even like the punches that landed, they were clean and crisp, but they weren't unpredictable. Like
that last punch, you see it so often. Fighters who've got that last punch on, they clipped them or whatever.
Yeah.
This one, it started from way back behind his left shoulder and just followed all the way down to the canvas.
It was a fastball.
Yeah.
It was a pitch.
It looked like Mendez was quickly checking if he could merge left or something. Just had a quick look and, shit. Yeah, there we are. It's all right, lie down there now.
But this, the final 20 seconds is what Rory McDonald should have been doing.
Yeah.
He's not looking for that knockout, although Connor got it.
Yeah.
He knew exactly what was going on. And I think Herb Dean stopped it 3 seconds too early, which is a good stoppage.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think Mendez, if he's honest, would be arguing anything about that.
No, of course not.
He didn't argue at all. Yeah.
No.
He gave him his props. And
Like I say, Herb Dean could have stood back in 3 seconds. It wouldn't have changed anything, which means it's a good stoppage.
Yeah.
I think Mendez handled it a bit like Poirier as well. It was just like, fuck, really? You have to admit that he's good? Like, shit.
But to his credit, he did go over to Connor straight away.
What else can you do?
Well, like Connor said, I just got that guy a house.
Yeah.
Like, 2 weeks ago, he was just doing whatever. Now he's got a house.
Yep.
And Jose Aldo's $3.5 million poorer.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't make the $3.5
He's probably still not poor, though.
No,
to be honest.
he's still doing
all
okay.
right.
Which is funny, and obviously this is the absolute best result the UFC could have hoped for.
Yeah.
Connor doing exactly what he wanted.
The 2-for-1 Connor Jose payday.
Yeah, even who knows when Jose's ready to fight.
Yeah.
I mean, it should probably still be this year.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. You've got now that's in the bank.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
But
It's like those tickets are already almost sold.
They're going to promote the shit out of it when it happens, but they don't need to because it sells itself now.
Yeah.
They've done all the work.
Yeah, it's like anything else is just cream on top.
This is the Iron Man movie, and the Avengers is about to come out.
Exactly right.
Yeah, exactly. Did you see Chael Sonnen afterwards on Twitter? He goes,
That's my boy.
He goes, well, you've only got yourselves to blame, guys. You were the ones that rang him while he was trying to train. Shame on you. For those that don't know, Chael actually released Chad Mendez's phone number on Twitter because Chad Mendez wouldn't get back to him about getting on his podcast. That was 2 weeks ago, yeah. For first fight.
Well done. Yeah, that's one way to do it.
Old Chael staying in the talk.
But on that with Jose Aldo, I'm also of the opinion that there should be no such thing as an interim title.
Yeah, I'm the same. Yeah,
just the title. Okay, you couldn't fight.
Yeah,
sorry, I mean, I'm not in Dana White's camp, and I believe the injury. I don't think he's not somebody that's walking away from a fight, no matter who it is.
He has dropped Conor McGregor did mention that he has dropped out of, I think, 5 different fights based on camp injuries.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at someone like Cain Velasquez and that camp, they have plenty of pullouts. And I think Jose said as well, he's fought, defended his belt twice a year, every year, including WEC.
Yep. No other champion.
That's all you ask for.
Is defended as much as him.
Yeah,
I think his record's exemplary.
Yeah, I think like I mentioned before you walked in, he what was it? No, I forgot now.
But I mean, he's done everything that's been asked of him, and he couldn't make this fight, and all the controversy with the X-rays, and put it aside. I fully believe he believes he's the best fighter in the world.
Yeah,
Jose Aldo. He's fought everybody that's come up.
Yeah,
and he would believe that he could wipe the floor with Conor McGregor.
Yeah,
just the same as Conor believes he can wipe the floor with Aldo.
Well, we're going to get the chance.
Yeah, and they will. But, I mean, if you can't make this fight, and the UFC says, well, it's a title fight, mate, you're no longer the champion. You're the number one contender. Whoever wins this fight is the champion. No interim belts.
Yeah, I agree.
It's good marketing.
Well, you can't have... If he does... Like, Aldo's next fight is McGregor. It can't be anything else. You can't have an interim champion and a champion fighting
someone else
against different people.
Well, they've done it once before, but... with the heavyweights, but
I mean, I guess technically Dana can do what the fuck he wants. He can put a chicken in there if he wants to. But
I just don't believe in the word interim.
Yeah, me neither. And it just sort of cheapens a little bit. You know what I mean? I just want to see one belt and that's it.
And you got to say, post match, Conor was unbelievably good. It was. The fight's over, and he was just so appreciative. I don't think he believed he'd get that much support.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very hard when you try and play the role of the villain, and they don't let you.
Yeah,
the fans don't let you.
I actually think he was in that mode for so long that was the first time he actually sort of realised what was happening.
Yep.
He was just so focused, so determined inside his own head that. Then he just realised, holy fuck, all these people are here for me.
It actually, and it happened.
And
I
gave it to them.
And even Rogan said it, wow, like he did it.
Yeah, he did it.
He actually did it.
Yep.
and Rogan was pretty much speechless, and he's seen it all. Like, if you think, MMA commentators who've seen shit, he is the number one.
Yeah, and especially like you've put all your eggs in one basket, talking that much trash.
Yep.
And everyone's just counting on that moment that you fall flat. So to put that much pressure on yourself and to sort of flourish in it is pretty amazing.
It's just it's the future.
Yeah.
That's what we're looking at. And God knows how many T-shirts and everything they've put it on, but it's not about taking part. It's about taking over.
Yep.
It's a beautiful line.
I actually don't like it. I think they've laid off the whole UFC marketing department now. Those guys are unemployed.
You don't need them.
No,
they got taken over. That's why.
Yep, they got taken off.
McGregor's mates have just jumped in, and they're going to be in training camp for all the other fighters now. Just all right. Here's the trash talk.
So they've said the next fight's in Vegas, which broke my heart, to be honest.
Yeah, me too. I was really hoping because I mean, Irish love coming down to Australia.
They love Australia. They'd fill Etihad.
Fucking oath they would.
They'd fill the MCG.
They drink Melbourne dry.
They'd probably only sell 3 tickets, but they'd fill the fucker. Oh, my mate Paddy's got it. Oh, he's over there. But I really wish that had have come down to Australia. It would have been perfect. Unfortunately, McGregor said he didn't want to. Which kind of way you do this? I don't know.
You can feel Wembley.
I think it's the hole in the ozone layer. It's not good for his complexion.
Not for good.
Well, there was a whole bunch of Paleys on tonight, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Not kind of billed as the Ireland.
Well, it was really
someone because all the ticket sales, most of them are over in Ireland. So I'm guessing they would chuck them all in the car, just give it interest in the locals.
Well, a lot of Europeans, and it was the right time for them to fight too. So they brought the Europeans out, the fighters out here, and the fucking fans followed. You need to listen. They were there. They were there.
So it's lucky they didn't run out of booze. Imagine they ran out of beer at the end of the fight.
Somebody a month ago would have been smart to buy every Guinness truck in the state.
Yep.
And just made a mint.
Yep, exactly.
Or got robbed blind.
You'd have it lined up around the block like street cleaners.
Yep. Oh, God. I don't think they've left Vegas since.
No, I don't think they remember they went to Vegas. That's the thing. Where the fuck are we, Paddy?
I don't fucking know, but there's a big fucking statue here.
Anyway, that was UFC 189. Jeez, did it deliver.
You got your money's worth, especially if you got it for free.
All right. I think that'll do us for our wrap-up of it. And it's good to be... to herald in the start of the age of Conor McGregor.
Yep. We'll catch you guys next one.
Yep. Thanks for listening, guys. Bye.